Good morning, boys and girls. I hope you're having a great day so far. I really enjoyed our Zoom yesterday. It was great to see all of your faces, those of you that were able to join us. So today, our video will be covering day 8 of packet number 5. So if you go ahead and look at day 8, where it says day 8, the first thing we have to do is the phonological awareness activity. So you're going to need an adult or older sibling to do this with you. So it says, what the adult is going to do, they're going to say the word, instruct you to say a word. You will say the word, and then the adult is going to say, now say the word, but change something. So we've done this in class before where you change out the first letter or the first sound of a word. So the example that's written is the adult would say the word fine. You would say fine. Then the adult says, now say fine, but change the f to m. And you would say mine. You're going to do that for the 5 words listed. So the first one that you're going to do is cube. So the adult would say cube. Now say cube, but change b to t. So it might not be the first sound, it could be the last sound too. So they're saying say the word cube, but change b to t. And this is an instruction for the adult. You're saying the sound the letter makes, so you're not going to say cube, but change the b to a t. Nope, we're not saying that. We're saying change the b to a t. So you're going to do that for the 5 words listed there. So you will need an adult to do this with you, so make sure you go ahead and ask them to help you with this part. For the reading activity, it says, read the text, let's go shopping. Discuss the article with a family member. Identify any text features in the article, such as pictures, headings, charts, and captions. Ask and answer who, what, when, why, and how questions about what you read. Include what is a producer and what is a consumer. So you can go ahead and write down the answers to these questions. So you get to create some questions about the article that we read and answer them, but make sure that you answer the questions, what is a producer and what is a consumer? Those have to be answered. As a reminder, we are keeping an eye out for text features in this article. So those are pictures, headings. Remember, if we see a heading, I used this example before, if we're reading a book about a butterfly, the book is all about butterflies, and the heading on our page is life cycle. What do you think that page is going to be about? The life cycle of a butterfly. The heading gives us a little clue about what you are going to read about. So we're keeping an eye out for pictures, headings, charts, and captions. Captions, remember, captions are some words underneath a picture that give us more information about the picture. And a chart is something that makes information or data easy for us to see and understand. So if we see a pie chart or a bar graph or anything like that, that is a chart with information that makes it easier and faster for us to see and understand. So we're keeping an eye out for those things. A pie chart is if you have So if the question was, do you want cheese or pepperoni pizza for lunch? This part in my key, it would say this is the people that want pepperoni, and the white part are the people that want cheese. Is that easy to see who wants which type of pizza gets the most votes? Yes, all of these amount of people want pepperoni, and just this amount want cheese. So that might be 85% of the people out of 100 want pepperoni, and 25% want cheese. So that tells us easily, we can see very quickly, most of the people want pepperoni. That's a chart. It gives us information very quickly and is easy for us to see and understand. So let's look at the article that we're going to read. It's called Let's Go Shopping. I'm going to read it to you, and then I want you to read it to yourself. So let's go shopping. I'll share my screen. Okay. Let's go shopping. Word to know, consumers. People who use or buy goods or services. Consumers. Where does your family buy the goods it needs? Do you go to the grocery store? Do you shop at a mall? We are all consumers. What kinds of things do we consume? Food and soap are two examples. Word to know, producers. People who make goods or provide services. Explain how this man is both a consumer and a producer. Producers. This man owns a fruit shop. He is a producer. Producers usually get paid for the goods and services they offer. Most people are both consumers and producers. The owner of this fruit store is a producer because he provides a service. He sells fruit to the community. He is also a consumer. He uses the money he makes in his store to buy food and clothing for his family. This girl is a producer. Oh, is this girl a producer or a consumer? Why? How were you a consumer at breakfast this morning? So, I see several examples of nonfiction text features. I'm seeing, what's this? Consumers. What is this going to be about that I'm reading? What is this piece of reading going to be about? Consumers, because that is my heading. Same thing for here. We've got a heading of consumers and a heading of producers. We also see pictures. Are these illustrations or are they more like photographs? They look more like photographs to me. Now, what do we have here? By the picture. Talk about the nonfiction text features that you see in this article. Now we're going to go back after we've read that and make sure that you go and read it. If you need to pause this video so you can take time to read it and think about the nonfiction text features, go ahead and do that. It says, so identify any of the text features in the article and create some who, what, when, why, and how questions about what you read. So come up with some questions about the article and answer those. What is a producer and what is a consumer should be one of those questions because you are able to answer that from the article. It answers that directly in the article. So you can go ahead and write down those questions and answers if you choose to. That way it can be one of the things that you turn in. For handwriting, identify 1 to 2 letters the student needs to practice correct letter formation. Use letter formation cards located in the resource section of Packet 4 as a guide for this activity and only work on improving letter formation with 1 letter per day. So, but it does say you can choose 1 or 2 letters. So, I'm going to go ahead and say you can do 1 or 2 letters. So, if you know that you have a hard time writing B's and not flipping them to a D, go ahead and practice writing B's. When I say that, I want about 2 lines of practice. So that means we are taking our time to form the letter correctly. I don't want this. Rushing and all on top of each other. Nope. That's sloppy. and it's not good practice. I also don't want this. Because look, you could say you have 2 lines done, but did you really get that much practice in? No, because you have them all spread way out. So we should have them spaced about like this. You can use your finger in between to help you with that spacing, but I want 2 lines of the letter. Or if you pick 2 letters, so if you picked B, 2 lines of B, and if you have a tough time with a different letter, 2 lines of that letter as well to practice. And in packet 4, there was a letter formation set of cards for each letter. It gives you explicit directions for how to form that letter if you need that. Like I said, that's back in packet 4, so you can go ahead and use that as a resource. At the bottom, it says, watch the WHRO Learn to Grow segment from 1:15 to 1:30 and practice what was talked about in today's segment. Always an option for you. Let's go ahead and move on to math. Have your daily calendar talk, see calendar resource. So just like every single day, we're using this calendar resource at the end of packet 5. We should have the month of May all filled in, and we should be practicing daily, months of the year, days of the week. Yesterday was, today is, tomorrow will be, and just practicing to get a familiarity with calendars so that when we are using them, they can be a good resource for us and we can know information from them very quickly rather than having to stop and take a bunch of time. When you practice with them daily, calendars are a great resource because you're very familiar with them. After you do your calendar talk, we have a problem, but I'm going to do a very similar problem with you first. So, this is a pizza. I have it split into 4 pieces. So, 2 children want to share the pizza with each other. Each child should get a fair share. How much should each child get? Can you show another way each child could get a fair share? How much did each child get? How do you know? So, here's the pizza. There are 2 children. That are sharing this pizza. How are they going to get a fair share? A fair share means this child gets the exact same amount as this child. No one gets more or less than the other person. So how many is each child going to get? You take one of these pieces and I'm going to give it to this child. So now this piece is gone. I'll take another piece and I'll give it to this child. I'll take another piece and I'll give it to this child. And the last piece will go to you. How many did this child get? 2. 2 pieces of pizza. How many did this child get? 2. Is that a fair share? Did they both get the exact same amount? Okay, then each child could get 2 pieces of pizza to split it in fair share. Now, what you are going to do, that was our practice. The one that you are doing is very similar. Instead of a pizza, it's a graham cracker. So it says 2 children want to share 1 graham cracker with each other. Each child should get a fair share. How much should each child get? Can you show another way each child could get a fair share? How much did each child get and how do you know? So your job, again, is to split this graham cracker between 2 children, and it needs to be a fair share. And answer those questions. How much should each child get? Can you show another way each child could get a fair share? How much did each child get? How do you know? Answer all those questions once you have figured out how to split the graham cracker up between 2 children so it is fair share. After you've done that part, there's another question. And at any time, if you need to pause the video to do your work and then restart and then play the video, that's totally fine, because I know I'm kind of moving through. So it says, 4 children want to share 8 sandwiches fairly with each other. Show how much each child can get. Can you show it another way? So I'm just going to draw circles because I am not a good artist. These are our sandwiches. 4 children want to share 8 sandwiches fairly with each other. Show how much each child can get. Can you show it another way? So this time, there are 4 children that you need to split the subs up between fairly. So each child should be able to have the same amount of subs. No one should have more than the other. And you have to split it up between 8 subs. So your job is to figure out how many subs each child gets for it to be a fair share. So go ahead and solve that. Use the same strategy or skills that we used for the last one, or for my pizza example. Divide up the 8 subs equally among the 4 children so that they each have the same amount and it is a fair share. After you've solved that, then optional portion says, demonstrate something you can share fairly among 4 people. This could be with a picture, a snack, or a group of things. So after you've solved this problem with the subs, you need to show something that you can share fairly among 4 people. You can do that by drawing a picture, using a snack to divide your snack up between 4 people equally, or a group of things. You can divide it up equally among 4 people. So that's an optional portion. Okay. That is it for our math today. Now we're going to move on to content. Content says people are both consumers and producers. Look at the pictures and sentences that you created the day before yesterday. Explain how you are a producer and a consumer. So, the day before yesterday, you should have picked a company to draw a picture of and explain whether they're a producer or a consumer, and you explained in what way they were. So look at those pictures and sentences that you created and explain how you are a producer and a consumer. How are you both a producer and a consumer? Remember, a producer is someone who offers something, who sells a good or service, who is the one giving out the good or service. The consumer is the person that is taking or buying the good or service. So how are you a producer and a consumer? Then after you've explained that, and you can write that down if you want, because that can be something that you turn in, it says complete one of the choices. So there are 2 choices listed, and I will explain both of them, and then you pick one. Read all kinds of factories. It's an article or a piece of text. Imagine that you own or are the manager of a factory. Draw a picture of the factory. Include the machines, the people, and the goods that are produced in the factory. Write about your factory. What does it produce? What goods are in the factory? Are the workers producing, consuming, or both? That's one of your choices. Another one of your choices says, think of a job that you are interested in doing. Draw a picture of you doing the job. Write about how you are a producer. Write about how you are also a consumer. So the example written there is a picture of a doctor, and under the picture of the doctor that the person drew, you fill in this sentence. Under the picture of what you want to be when you grow up, or a job that you are interested in doing, you fill in these sentences. So in this example, it's doctor. A doctor is a producer because, explain why they are a producer. And then you would do a doctor is a consumer because, and explain how they are a consumer. That's your second choice. Pick one of those things. So you can either think of a job that you are interested in doing and draw a picture of you doing the job, and write about how you are a producer and a consumer by filling in the sentences. Or you can read all kinds of factories and imagine that you own or are the manager of a factory. Draw a picture of the factory. Include the machines, the people, and the goods that are produced in the factory. Write about your factory. What does it produce? What goods are in the factory? Are the workers producing, consuming, or both? And let me just find that so I can show you what that text looks like. Okay, right here. This would be the text that you're reading before you do that, if this is the choice that you pick. All kinds of factories. Okay. So choose one of those activities to do for content. And then once you do that, that is the end of our excuse me, of our packet work for today. So if you have any questions, please, as always, feel free to reach out, email, contact me, and I am here to help. Today will be the drawing for one person from each grade level to win a KFC family meal. And remember, based on the work that you submitted for last week, however many pieces of work that you submitted, we were able to put your name in that many times into the drawing with a maximum of 8. So fingers crossed that it's someone from our class that wins. We'll be in touch if we do hear that it's you. Yep, we have another Zoom tomorrow at 1 o'clock. I'm looking forward to seeing you then. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I miss you and I love you.